Welcome to episode 251 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It is Saturday's episode, people, but it is Sunday the 25th of December, 2022. It's Christmas Day, people. I know. What sort of a sad, lonely fuck does a podcast on Christmas Day? Me, people. That is the brief answer to your question. There is a more lengthy one that I shall not go into. It's Christmas morning, people. It's about 6 o'clock. I thought, fuck it, I'll get the podcast done today. I had a shitload of stuff to do on Christmas Eve yesterday. That's what usually precedes Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. I don't know if you're aware of the Christian celebration. Actually, it came from the... All right, okay. Let's not get into the history of it. Yesterday, I had a shitload of stuff to do. I had to... I popped round. I'll tell you what I did realise yesterday, the roads weren't that bad when I was popping about, handing out like a little Santa Claus myself yesterday, handing out Christmas presents. The roads, I don't know what it was. I went out about 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go shopping or anything like that. I'm not a fucking idiot. But it seems that most people either weren't travelling about that much yesterday or got up late. I don't know. I have no idea. So I pop around, see my brother drop his presents off for the kids, my niece and nephew. What a great uncle. What a great uncle I am. I'm all right, I suppose. I have no idea. I've never asked them. I don't want to know that. I don't want to get the feedback. You know what I mean? Kids can be brutal. No, we only see you once every 2 weeks, Ben. What's going on there? Okay. I'm a busy guy. And then pop round to see my nan, who's 100 years old now. Holy fucking shit, Nan. What are you doing? She's soldiering on. More than soldiering on, to be fair. She's... it was quite funny, actually. My mum was around there at the same time. So we both sort of like met up round my nan's house. I took her presents and that. My nan's, like, as I just say, 100 years old. She's still as bright as a button, as they say. The only thing now is, it must have been about the last 6 months, maybe, last 6 to 8 months or whatever, she started to lose her hearing a little bit. So me and my mum around there on Christmas Eve, essentially shouting at a 100-year-old lady just to get heard. God knows what the neighbours think. That we just went round and shouted at my 100-year-old nan on Christmas Eve. Fucking brutal. Dropped the presents off round there, then came back and I thought, I could get a few bits done. Let's get the old podcast set out. And then I thought, no, fuck it. There's a little bit of decorating I wanted to get done. And if you are watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see my attempt at decorating behind me. I wanted to put up some wallpaper. Just one wall. That's all I wanted to do. Just one fucking wall. So I'm there watching it. Never done wallpapering before. I've never done, pasted or put it up or measured it out. It's quite a nice design on it that I just wanted to make a feature wall. That's what they say in all these YouTube videos, isn't it? If you just want to make a feature wall, it's quite simple to do. It's fucking not. Oh, yeah, this is... If you can see it at the minute, there's just a bare strip on the wall where I lost my fucking temper with it. I'm pasting it away. I've pasted it on the fucking pasting table. I've bought a pasting table. I've bought the paste. I've bought all the fucking little shitty tools that you need for it. I get it up on the wall. It sticks to the wall. That God knows what is in wallpaper paste, but it fucking certainly sticks wallpaper to a wall quick. And then you have to, on all the videos, I don't know if they're editing them, whatever they're doing on YouTube with them, but they're making it look a damn sight easier than I did. That's for fucking sure. And they're all calm. I don't think I don't have the temperament, I don't think, to be a wallpaperer. This, it's not my calling in life to put up fucking wallpaper. That's for fucking sure. So I'm putting it. I pasted it all on the table. You have to fold it over like that so the paste doesn't go everywhere. I've done that bit. I'm pretty good at the pasting of the paper. I don't mean to blow my own whistle here, people, but old Benny boy here, he ain't too bad at pasting a bit of paper and folding it over. That bit, I fucking nailed that. Absolutely fucking nailed it. I carry it over to the wall. Fucking nailed that. I get it up against the wall. This is where it starts getting a bit tricky, people. Because I wanted it so, like, the design finished, like, at the top of the wall so it starts again, like, all the way down. And then that was a fucking nightmare to shift it up because I'd stuck it on and then all I wanted to do was peel it off and then the fucking bottom bit I'd folded over just went on my leg. Just fucking wallpaper paste all over my leg. Just like I'd fucking jizzed somewhere all down myself. That's been a while. So I'm hanging it. I managed to get it to where the design starts at the top. I do that. The line I've drawn on the wall with the fucking plumb bob. Are we still using those these days? When plumb bob's like a heavy weight with a fucking string on it. Is that what we're using to mark a fucking straight line on a wall still? Is that it? That's what came in the little pack? No fucking laser. I thought there'd be some sort of laser-guided shit. No, you just hang a fucking weight on a bit of string, hold that against the wall, and hope for the best. Hope it's straight when you mark all the stuff off. So I've done that, and I'm trying to line it up against the thing, against the line that I've drawn on the wall. You can probably still see the line on the wall there. Yeah, at the far side of that fucking shit. Only if you're watching on YouTube, obviously. If you're listening to this, then, imagine... I'll do one of those audio descriptions that people do of photos these days. Imagine a straight vertical line drawn in pencil down a wall that looks like it's had wallpaper stuck to it and then angrily ripped off. There's your audio description, people. So I get that on. I try and get it up against the line. I'm trying to slide it across like that, and then I put my thumb through the paper. At which point, people, on Christmas Eve, the day before our Lord Jesus Christ, the baby Jesus, was born, I went fucking mental, ripped it off the fucking wall, went, fucking, and then you got to fucking compact that shit down to get it in your fucking bin. Man, it was a nightmare. And then I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to get somebody in to do it. Why would I waste my time? I even tried to fix the thumb mark that I'd put through the paper, and it looked fairly okay. Jesus, I just burped then. Sorry about that if you heard that. And it looked all right, but I know for a fucking fact that will do my fucking head in every time I see that fucking thumbprint in there. And I just couldn't live with having that. That's how fucking mental I am. I can't live with a fucking slight thumb mark. Nobody else would be able to see it, but I'd fucking know it was there. And I couldn't live with that, so I ripped the whole fucking lot down. I had a tantrum on Christmas Eve like a fucking 5-year-old, being told to go to bed early because Santa's coming. So that was my Christmas Eve, people. Basically travelling around and then destroying one wall of Briggs Towers here, and it ripped all the fucking paint off the wall. So I've had to take the shelves down. I had to take everything down. So I managed to set everything up here at the in the studio bit, and we're back on it, people. So that's why it's late. So that's it. Other things. Anyway, how's your fucking Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Christmas Day gonna go, but how was your Christmas Eve? All right, was it? Did you destroy anything because you've got a fucking temper? Because you're a little baby when things don't go your way? Okay. It's not the time of year to do a bit of self-analysis there, Ben. Let's keep it light. It's Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, rather. Sorry. I'm getting fucking confused. I tell you what, I did have a fucking good day apart from that yesterday, though. They had a fucking great TV day. I managed to, in between doing all this shit, I managed to... I was nailed onto ITV4. It started off, I went around to see my brother early, like about 10 o'clock. At 11:45, they had Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on. I watched that fucker. Fucking great film. Then they had various other John Wayne films on. The Shootist was on. The Cowboys was on. And then I wrapped up the evening by watching Rambo 3, which is, I tell you what... That did not age well, Rambo 3, with the old, the Russians in Afghanistan, and they're the bad guys. And you think just a few years later, the Americans were in there being the bad guys. Just replace the Russians with the fucking, with the Americans, and you've re-got that film. Essentially, I blame John Rambo for scouting out for the Americans there. And all that debacle that happened afterwards. I think that's keeping it tame, isn't it? Anyway, let's not talk about wars on Christmas Day. Come on. I'll tell you what I will talk about, which was a bit of a war. My last gig before Christmas. I've got gigs next week. Before the end of the year, I'm in Birmingham for one, and just the Tonic in Leicester New Year's Eve. So we'll see how that fucking goes. But I thought I'd got away with it this year. I fucking thought I'd got away with the mental Christmas gigs, or fucked up Christmas scenarios, shall we call it? But Thursday night did not disappoint, people. I tell you what. People out there going to comedy gigs at Christmas, you never fail to disappoint. I'm doing a gig Thursday night. I did the gig Thursday night, I should say. No, I'm doing a gig. I did the gig Thursday night. It's a gig for a mate of mine, John Pearson, who runs some really nice gigs around the Midlands. He's a fucking fantastic MC. Check out his Instagram. He's always posting videos up there, which is something I need to start doing more of, which I will be doing more of. But check out his, I think it's Johnny P Comic or something like that. But he runs some great gigs. And he's emceeing the gig. There's 3 acts on. So like I get there and the opener's on. There's a middle act and I'm closing. The place is sort of like it's a venue. It's quite a cool little venue, to be honest. It kind of reminded me of fucking, as you walk in, like old school changing rooms, like had that fucking smell about it at school. But it kind of reminded me of that. And then there's like a big area down at the bottom. There's some steps leading up, and there's another area there, seating area. So I think it's an old, it could be an old, I think it's actually an old school. I forget the name of the fucking venue now. But let's have a look, see if I can find the name of the venue. No. Isn't it? Clown. There we go. It was in a place called Clown. Oddly enough, Oh, fucking hell. Old school tap house. That's it. That's why it stank like fucking changing rooms in there. You never get rid of that smell. It's ingrained into the wallpaper. Let's not talk about wallpaper, Ben. It's ingrained into the fucking brickwork there. Yeah, so I go in. The opener's on. He's doing all right. And Jim Howe was there, who books a few gigs as well. He's a nice guy. Well, yeah, the night's sort of like a normal comedy night. And then they have a break. I have a bit of a chat with John and Jim outside as we're having a vape and that. And then the second section starts. And as the second section starting, a load of people come in dressed in fucking Christmas fucking jumpers and running gear. You know that running gear that's like, it's for some reason, runners don't wear shorts anymore. They wear like leotards. I don't know. And this is a running group. This is not professional athletes, people. I don't know how much wearing lycra, the balance between wearing lycra and looking a fucking tool, and wearing lycra and shaving half a second off your personal best time. I don't know where the balance of that is. I don't think it's worth wearing lycra to look that much of a fucking idiot. Is worth, shaving that off your time. I don't know what it's doing for the majority of people were well in their 40s there. They're not at the peak of their physical fitness. I know this. I'm not being ageist here, people. I'm a 45-year-old man. Yeah. I take my hat off to these people who go out running, because you're hedging your bets between getting fit and having a heart attack and dying in the street. It's the 50-50 at this age. Just maybe not dying, just having your first heart attack. That's it, isn't it? Just having your first your scare. That's what you have in your 40s, isn't it? You have your scare in your 40s. And then you get the choice to either change your lifestyle or think, fuck it was only a scare. Who wants to be around at the end of their 50s? So a load of these people come in. There must have been about 30 of them, and they just start taking over the lower section of the venue. And they've bought pizzas with them. They're just eating. Don't give a fuck about the comedies on, and the loudness of the din that they're making just starts getting louder and louder, and they're fucking sharing the pizzas out. And I said we had a horrendous conversation. Most of them came in then, and then the second section started, and the guy on in the middle was obviously battling against that. So I felt a bit sorry for him, the guy who was on in the middle, because he's just battling against that, and it's a fucking nightmare. Then, obviously, the middle section ends. I'm going on in the final section. I'm closing off the night. So me and John are just looking at each other, and we're basically, if anybody could have heard our conversation we were having before we both went on in that that last section, we'd have been cancelled. The amount of vile fucking shit we were saying about these people was fucking unbelievable. And all of them looked like every single person that I bullied in school. Not that I bullied a lot, but fucking they were that sort of, I'm crazy because there's one guy dressed as fucking Ebenezer Scrooge, gone out running because he's crazy. Everybody's got fucking Christmas jumpers or fucking shit like that on. So we start the second section. John's quite nice. He tries to bring him in a little bit because he's just thinking, what the fuck? These people are not going to go. I'm going to have to engage with them. So John engages with them and does well, but They're just fucking throwing shit out there. They've had a drink, they've just taken over. The fucking entitlement of it. That's the thing that wound me up the most. The fucking entitlement of going, yeah, we're going to come in here, we're going to take over, we're going to eat our pizza, not, haven't bothered about the fucking comedy night all night. Apparently they were there earlier, about 6 o'clock before the comedy started, and then they wanted somewhere to come back to and eat pizza, and for God knows why the fucking landlady let them back in, because it's just going to destroy the comedy night. So John introduces me, I go on, and just start. I know. It's one of those things where at the time you think, fuck, you're so wound up at the time by it because you just like, because there's an audience actually in the top section and they're there to see the comedy. And they're just getting drowned. The comedians with a fucking microphone are just getting drowned out by these 30 people. So, you're there saying, you're there thinking to yourself, I want to be a nice guy, but like also I really want to be horrible to these people as well because they're fucking assholes. Just come in. As I say, the entitlement of it really pissed me off. So I go on and say something about how, I don't know, I forget what it was, something about how lycra and age do not mix. And I'm getting laughs from the top section, which is good because they're the comedy audience. The bottom section are obviously, none too pleased. And then a guy heckles me and starts getting a bit fucking aggro as well with it. So he heckles, he says something. I don't really hear it. I asked him to repeat what he said. And then I think I came out with a great comedy line of "fuck off, you cunt," which if in doubt, any comedians listening to this, if in doubt, and you don't hear what the heckle is, you ask them to repeat it, and you don't hear it the second time. If it's a middle class running club, I would go with "fuck off, you cunt," because it seemed to do the job. No, I'm not saying that's going to work every time. But an exclusively white running club in quite a middle classy sort of like area, I would go with that. Then the guy gets up, he goes to leave, says. And then he says, "You're not fucking funny." To which the guys in the top section were a little bit annoyed at because I was actually being funny, but I was being funny about them. And then he turns around and comes to walk up to the stage. And it's at this point that, as if he's going to fucking kick off. And at this point, I realize he's dressed as a fucking elf. Ah, dear. If you're gonna start on somebody, and get a bit aggro with people, don't dress as don't be dressed as an elf. It takes away the whole threat aspect of what you're trying to achieve there. You know what I mean? It's like, this is why UFC fighters don't go dressed as characters from Frozen. You're not going to be at your most intimidating when you're dressed as an elf. So I commented on that. We've got a fuck as he's walking back towards me, which is probably not the best thing to do, but again, it worked. He seemed to realize it seemed to cut through the amount of beer he'd had when I said, you can't be an alpha male dressed as a fucking elf, mate. So then he turns and goes, I essentially abused him out of the building, verbally. And then somebody else piped up at the back saying, well, at least he's still not doing comedy in his 40s. I don't know what that guy expected comedians to be. Like all in their 20s or something, are they? You know, like the best comedians that have ever been are people like, as I said on this night, the best comedians are when they're in the 40s, 50s and 60s, aren't they? You look at George Carlin, Richard Pryor, you know, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle. Notice I haven't mentioned any English comedians there. Billy Connolly, Scottish comedian. There we go. He's our best. He's our fucking best. I don't know where he was going with that. And then that seemed like it was going to turn into a fight situation at one point. But we managed to calm that down a little bit. And then this is how much of a fucker I was that night. By the time I'd finished my set in that 20 minutes, they'd all gone. So that was the people at the top were fucking lovely, really great. There must have been about, I don't know, 20, 25 people maybe in the top section. It wasn't a super, super busy night. They'd already, when they came in, there was another section sort of like sitting right by these people, also watching the comedy. There was a load of young people downstairs as well. They were really engaged and really enjoying it. There was an older sort of section. They left when these people come in because they said they just couldn't hear the comedy. But people didn't give a fuck, did they? The runners didn't give a fuck. But there you go. I don't know. You're sort of like in between. You see, you do. This is the weird thing about it. You do stuff like that as a stand-up, and then you those fucking runners don't give a shit. They're gonna go out, go for another drink, get pissed, go home and fall asleep. And then, like, I don't know. I've got a bit of self-awareness. You know what I mean? Not a lot. But a bit of self-awareness. And on the drive home, all you're thinking about on the drive home is how I could have handled that differently. Or did you do the right thing? And hoping, because one of your mates run the gig, that you haven't fucked up the evening for them. But that, like, in the moment, obviously you're just plowing on through, baby. That's what you got to do. Just fucking batter on through, and hope that you don't get punched. I did think at one point, I must admit, when that guy stopped and turned around, I thought, here we go. This is it, Benny boy. Let your jaw know at any moment something, a fist is coming flying that way, and see if you can fucking dodge it this time. But yeah, he thought twice when I pointed out that he looked a fucking idiot dressed as an elf. Oh, you're not funny, mate. You've gone out dressed as a fucking elf. That is the level of your humor. And the worst thing about it is you fucking actually made that decision to buy that elf outfit because you thought it'd be crazy. This will be crazy to go out with on the runners do. And then you've put it on. You've been all excited, haven't you? You've got out there and people have gone, oh, you're dressed as an elf. You're crazy. Oh, you're a real character. You are. You've gone out for a few drinks. Probably everyone's been going, oh, look at the crazy elf guy. You've walked into there. You fucking had your pizza. And then some comedians called you a cunt. Dear. I imagine he didn't think that's the way the night was going to pan out for him. But I don't know. I just find that whole image fucking hilarious. A guy dressed as an elf trying to fucking start shit. It's difficult, isn't it? It's a difficult one to deal with, but we got through it. And I think that's the main thing. Anyway, people, I hope your Christmas, if you're dressed as a fucking elf this Christmas Day, Baby Jesus' birthday. I hope you don't start any shit. I wish you all a very happy Christmas day. Spend it with your families and stuff like that, or even if you're not, make the most of it. Yeah, I will be back on Tuesday. On Tuesday, motherfuckers. It seems a bit weird saying the word cunt and motherfucker on Christmas Day, but there you go. Hey, here we go. This is what we're dealing with, people. Have a great Christmas day. I shall speak to you on Tuesday. Take care.